Hello ladies and G's, welcome back. What you're seeing right now is a pair of examples of one-shotting extremist guys with a double adrenaline ground pound. You don't even need to charge it up to do the job. And yeah, let's start the mission first. The build I am using is a pretty much standard one. We are not using the 25% extremis melee damage increase. Team Perk, we are using the gun strike because it's a more all-rounder. And yeah, we still can one-shot the extremist guys with the block hammer ground pound, which is it's very fun, honestly. And I don't want to relinquish the 30% gun strike damage increase because it's very efficient and it's an all-rounder, you know. Anyways, of course, we are using the block hammer and the ammo capacity heavy bolt pistol, which is a no-brainer. There's no reason to use any other heavy bolt pistols. I still believe the plasma pistol is in a very good spot as well, but yeah, the most efficient one, it's without a doubt the heavy bolt pistol. Anyways, I have a pair of rounds first for the assault class, and the first one is that I believe it's called the adrenaline boost. It's a prestige perk that lets you be, you know, immune to stagger when you do a perfect parry or a perfect block, and that simply does not work. Honestly, I don't understand what I have to do to make it work, but it's probably bugged. And the second rant is that the horde mode crashes. Yeah, I am a console player, as you can see. I have a reduced FOV, and honestly, only if I am using an assault class. So let me know in the comments if you also have problems with the assault class crashing on the horde mode, specifically on wave 14. I mean, if I use other classes like, you know, tactical heavy or whatever it is, it goes very smooth. But if I am using the assault class, there is a 90% chance that I am crashing on wave 14, and it's very annoying to say the least. It's very, you know, I grew tired of that, and I don't know what I have to do. Anyways, as you are seeing right now, they have released the true solo mode without bots, even on console. So this is an absolute mission without bots with the assault class. And yeah, I was, you know, in the other videos I made, I was asking for this. So yeah, to prove at least to check what it is like without bots. And I have to say, it's very fun, honestly. I like it. All the enemies are aiming you, and it's a little bit more action-packed, you know. Anyways, going back to the one-shotting extremis matter, there are two conditions to that. The first one, of course, is that you need to stack up 2 adrenaline stacks, so you need to do 2 perfect blocks first. And the second condition is that you don't have to release the ground pound if the extremist guy is dodging or, you know, doing evasive moves. Like, for example, the lictor sideways dodging or the burrowing animation of the Ravener. They will simply nullify your ground pound. It's very annoying, and you will see instances of this during this mission. It's very annoying. As for the biovore itself, I believe that a ground pound does not put it in an executable state by just a slight bit of HP. So you just need a pair of pistol shots to do the job with the biovore. And if you are pretty zealous of that, you can of course switch the gun strike perk with the 25% melee damage increase, and that's gonna solve the problem for the biovore. But I don't want to relinquish the 30% damage increase, honestly, with the for the gun strike. That's a little bit more an all-rounder and more versatile than a double adrenaline ground pound. It requires a little bit too many conditions to be effective, and that's annoying. Anyways, they have also modified the absolute difficulty. Yeah, as you can see here, yeah, the lictor dodged, and we did 0 damage to the lictor with the double adrenaline ground pound. That's very unfortunate and very annoying. So yeah, I had to rely on on an how's that called, an aftershock, a double adrenaline aftershock, which also deals a ton of damage even at fire 1 charge. So that's very unfortunate. I hope they solve this bug. I believe it's a bug, must be a bug. Anyway, sorry, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, they have modified the absolute difficulty to have, I believe, a little bit less enemies overall, but you can meet, of course, a mid-boss, a terminus boss, more often, and yeah, the mid-boss usually is your stopping point of the mission, especially if you're on true solo, because I mean, when you have an assault and you have, you don't have a lot of ammo left, and they spawn you, not the zoanthrope, sorry, a neurotrope with a lot of long-ranged guys, man, you're cooked, honestly, because they will zone you out, and you don't have any means to actually kill all of the guys in a reasonable time. And yeah, I usually run out of patience when I meet the neurotrope with all of his friends. The Carnifex is a little bit different. You have at least a chance at defeating the the Majoris guys that are spawning in. And yeah, when the Terminus guy reaches half of his HP, and again another group of enemies will spawn in, and usually also extremist guys are coming in to help the Terminus. So that's very annoying, especially for the assault class, because we don't have many, many ranged means to deal with those guys. And usually what happens that you will get zoned by the Terminus guy plus all of the Majoris long range. I don't know how they're called, the Venom Cannon Majoris guys, all the Devourers. They will simply zone you out, and it's gonna take forever. It's just a test of patience, and usually I am not a patient type myself, so I end up either dying to stupid things, to stupid errors, or I simply just restart the mission when I reach 0 ammo, because I know in advance it's gonna take a lot of time. Anyways, in this mission you will not see the mid-boss, by the way. So it's been completed in a reasonable time, because I didn't want to drag it very long, honestly. And yeah, by the way, I did not talk yet. I think I did not talk yet about the new prestige perk that makes this build shine, and that is the 3 seconds invulnerability time during the ground pound. If you are charging your ground pound, you are invulnerable to any damage for 3 seconds. That's what makes the block armor be in a very good spot against the Tyranids, at least. It can be used, of course, on Chaos faction as well, but to me, if you are using an assault, the Power Sword is the best against the Chaos faction. There is no denying that it's fast, it deals a ton of damage, and the best one is a fencing variant as well, so you can parry and gun strikes and use gun strikes as much as you want. It's very difficult to beat as a build. Maybe the Power Fist can stand a chance, but I have to test it, honestly. So yeah, also I wanted to talk a little bit about the chainsword itself. The chainsword, I still believe it's on a very good spot as well, but remember, the prestige perk that I think it's called, again, what was it, the adrenaline boost one, does not work. So honestly, yeah, if you do two perfect blocks and you want to do, for example, the animation skip to the shoulder bash, keep in mind that, yeah, you are not immune to staggers. While, for example, if you use the tactical class, yeah, there is a specific perk of the tactical that lets, I think it's called, again, adrenaline boost, but it's not a prestige one, it's a class perk one, and that works. You are effectively immune to knockback when you do a perfect block. So if you want to use, for example, the blockchain sword, to me at least, your best bet is the tactical class. Anyways, let's keep going here. As you can see, we don't have much ammo left. So yeah, we are trying to save ammo as much as possible. Yeah. The ground pound is very satisfying. You can also, by the way, you can also use the last class perk, which is the 20% ground pound damage increase. It's not necessary itself to trespass any breakpoints, especially execution breakpoints, but you can use, of course, to deal a ton of damage, for example, on extremis, on terminus guys. So, for example, I believe in this mission itself, it's a valuable perk as well. We are not using that, by the way. We are using the jetpack dodge damage increase one, but I still believe the longer charge time for stronger, stronger ground pound damage could be very valuable on terminus guys. Anyways, yeah, we don't have many bullets, as you can see, honestly, and there are 2 zoans. That's very bad. But yeah, we have to deal with those guys. That's, you see, that's what I mean when there are, enemies that you have to fight with a ranged weapon. And yeah, the mission immediately becomes, boring, very static, because you have to run around and try to find your chance at dealing enough damage to the minions before you can take on the ranged guys. So yeah, imagine a neurotrope in this situation. Honestly, I mean, I don't want to deal with this shit. It's too long in matter of time to complete this thing. So anyways, there are 2 zones. I am aware that we can skip those, but I still think we have, yeah, as you can see here, I tried an aftershock to catch this zone, but yeah, it backed off. Anyways, I think we have enough pistol ammo to deal with those 2 guys. But yeah, rather than that, honestly, I would still prefer grounded extremist guys, honestly. It's very annoying, as you can see. Definitely annoying. Like 14 bullets, and yeah, I am aware that if we used the power fist, we could at least try and catch those guys with the, the shockwave of the power jab, but the hammer is my favorite weapon for the assault. So, and I love ground pounding, honestly. It's one of the best signature moves the assault has, the jetpack ground pound. It's very iconic, at least for my limited understanding of the Warhammer world. So anyways, we have completed that. Of course, I'm not explaining how the mission works. I am sure all of you guys are pretty much aware of how this thing works. So yeah, we are just going ahead and we are going to plant the classic. I believe there are 3 or 4 bombs if you are on solo mission. So, and then we go to the roof defense in the wait of the first Hive Tyrant. Anyways, we have a little bit of ammo right now. We don't have much HP, so I think we could benefit from, from a pair of stems around. Yeah, I believe we will find those in this, at least in this part. If not, we can at least find those in the next section. Yeah, I tried with every minute at my disposal to block the reinforcements. To no avail, unfortunately. But yeah, as you can see here, if you have adrenaline stacks and you do a ground pound, you might not be able to execute those guys. You might straight out kill those immediately, so keep that in mind. Yeah, as you can see here, we are not immune to stagger. We simply had armor segments left, so I simply used armor segments to be immune to staggers, you know. So unless the prestige perk works only if you have armor segments left, which I don't believe it's the case, that's bugged. That does not work straight. Anyways, let's get going here. Let's take the bombs. And now, yeah, there is an ammo crate, but at the moment, no steams left. And that's very unfortunate. We mistook the... I mean, the ground pound just led us to a different target, to the one I was expecting. Anyways, we managed to at least stop it. Yeah, we don't have the ground pound, unfortunately. That's very unfortunate. We have to do other moves here. I was too afraid to try charge up Aftershock because of all of the ranged damage that could have depleted my armor immediately. Anyways, yeah. I am not sure if that crack grenade hit the biovore during the siege animation, and so it did not deal enough damage, which appears to be the case, unfortunately. Okay, so we killed the biovore with a decent amount of effort, and now let's try to plant after this kill. Let's try to plant at least the first bomb. Okay, we need 4 bombs, so probably, yeah, I think it was on the lower floor. Oh, nice, there is a relic. Pretty nice. And a steam, so basically we can just come back to life with full HP with a steam plus a relic. So it's pretty much, you know, a second HP bar. Even if I don't like dying myself, so we are trying to not use that. And there is another wave incoming. Yeah, if you have a block weapon, by the way, I've noticed that the worst case scenario is waves of minions like this. Because, yeah, your pairing does not insta-kill minions, and you don't get the armor segment back. You need something else. So, yeah, I think that is one of the most dangerous situations, to be surrounded by minions. That's why I usually try to search immediately for the Majoris guy that is commanding the minions. Anyways, okay, let's execute those 2 guys. Oh, by the way, I built the heavy pistol to the, you know, the headshot branch. So we are dealing an increased amount of headshot damage and a reduced amount of normal damage, I believe. So it's all in favor of the headshots, which I believe have a stronger multiplier in damage. But still, I believe you can build as much, I mean, as various as you want in matter of build. The heavy bolt pistol will still be in a perfectly balanced spot And yeah, I believe we need a perk for the assault that increases the ammo capacity, because we simply have the pistol and that's it. So you don't have a pretty much reliable way to deal with the Zoans, for example, of the Neurotropes, unless you are using, you know, the Power Fist. But honestly, that's a little bit too restrictive for example, for me, that I am a hammer lover. Yeah, I don't like it. Anyways, let's get going here. We are almost halfway through the mission right now. And again, there is a wave, an unlimited wave of minions. That's very dangerous. So I am trying my best to deal with those guys. And now I am backing off to try and kill as many of those as possible. Yeah, as you can see there, I did an adrenaline 2 ground pound for to the biovore, and it did not go in executable state. So from now we are gonna check how much more damage it is needed to enter the execution. I don't think a lot more is required for that. So yeah, the biovore itself has a little bit higher HP pool. Oh well, I closed it with another ground pound. But anyways, I still believe a few pistol shots could have solved our problem here. But yeah, the biovore is the only extremist guy that will resist, if you don't charge it up at least, will resist your ground pound. If you charge it up, you can of course insta-kill the biovores as well. But honestly, I didn't feel I didn't feel like charging it up just for the biovore itself. Could have done it, but the problem with charging your ground pounds is that the biovores will enter their siege state and will basically reduce your damage by a small percentage. That could be very unfortunate. Anyways, missing a ton of blocks here. And there is another extremist guy, I believe. This is the one from the starting clip. So yeah, this is a pretty much clear example. You will see shortly a Ravener, and I simply destroy it with a double adrenaline ground pound. I believe this is the Ravener we are talking about. Yeah, the runner borrowed, so we are waiting for it to come back. Yeah, and this is it. As you can see, an uncharged ground pound, and that's it. Checking my surroundings, and of course I eat the green ball immediately. Fuck it. Trying to cover myself from this Zoan, but I believe it does not have the second Zoan to heal it up, so yeah, it's a pretty easy kill right now. Yeah, man, I cannot describe how much I love the ground pounds right now with the prestige perk, with the invulnerability prestige perk. It's very fun, honestly. I like it. Okay, let's get the remaining explosive charge right here, and let's try to keep going. Okay.
The Hive tyrant will reach your position.
There are a ton of spores around. Okay, let's go back to the corridor here. Let's see if we can advance without many problems. And of course, another extremist spawn with an entire wave of minions. Now, he firing this pistol is very, very bad. And I missed the ground pound. Fuck it. Luckily for us, there was a Minority's execution to get back the at least one armor segment. Okay, let's keep going here. We are in a decent spot right now to control the situation. We have also the, the Gunstrike armor segment perk, which is perfect for the hammer users, in my opinion. Beware that the ground pound does not count as a charged attack, I believe, so you will not have any increase in damage if you are using the charged attacks, damage increase perk. That's a big problem for the armor users because we love using the ground pound. That's our primary source of damage. But yeah, for example, the aftershock, yeah, that benefits from that perk, and it's pretty much noticeable. You do a ton more damage. It's probably your best damage dealer, for example, against Neurotropes. That deals like a very large amount of damage. Yeah, I had to place the, the shock grenade and the jetpack back to avoid friendly damage. Okay, was waiting for at least one, one execution for the Minoris guys, and then, yeah. Okay, so I think we've cleared this middle wave. Let's try and advance right now on the corridor. Yeah, just a single enemy. By the way, I thought that using the stronger version, I mean the 11 damage, I think it's 11, the 11 damage heavy bolt pistol could at least increase our gun strike damage, but looks like that's not the case. Okay, we have just cut to the, the defense part here. And yeah. So this part is pretty much standard. There are no extremists, guys, in this section. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I don't believe there are extremists guys here. So yeah, there is a GNC there, but I prefer to keep the relic, honestly. Okay, let's trigger the event here that starts, starts it all by just stepping on that marker, and now it's just a matter of defense. I think they have reduced the amount of enemies that spawn in this section as well. I do know if it's only for the true solo, I mean without bots, or it's for every type of mode, because I played simply only on true solo, honestly. I did not activate the bots anymore after the latest patch, so again, please let me know in the comments. As of right now, yeah, your best bet here is to just focus your bullets on choke points here and on explosives, just to deal your maximum amount of damage possible. I am waiting for the Majoris guys to come down from the ledge, yeah, for the plasma bomb. Yeah, so we have dealt a little bit of damage there. Okay, let's remove the Majoris guys from the equation, so that should, yeah, that should clear up the Minoris as well. Nothing much to say here. It's all pretty much standard. Perfect. Let's get the ammo back and... Oh yeah, there's still another Majoris, guys. Yeah, you can just use the double dodge for, you know, a triple gun strike back to back, which is very fun to do actually. And deals a ton of damage if you have the plasma pistol as well. It's okay, so now we are ready to go on to the next section. So yeah, can you guess it? The Hive Tyrant, of course, survived this. It's like, you know, the 100th time we are seeing this. The Hive Tyrant is still alive, so we have to keep going. Yeah, the hold habits to check for the armory data. Okay, now after the elevator, another cut here. So we are, I believe there is a relic, another relic. So yeah, we have like another HP bar ready if we are in need, but I don't like dying myself, so I will try to... Also, I believe that the double adrenaline stack stays there for around 30 seconds. I don't think it's forever. It doesn't stay there forever, which is pretty unfortunate myself. I think, you know, if you can just keep the adrenaline there and use it when you need it, that would have been pretty much awesome, but yeah. It's not like that. Anyways, let's keep going here. Some ammo. And again, you should recognize these from the intro as well. This is another one shot. However, the other, you know, the other lictor was dodging, and that's pretty much unfortunate. Yeah, another one shot here. So yeah, the other lictor was like dodging, or I don't know what exactly was it doing to avoid the ground pound damage. And yeah, there is another lictor. Honestly, I think this was another lictor because I was seeing with my eyes where the lictor was going, but it looks like this is the same lictor we were watching going away. So they actually teleport. Again, that's another teleport. Anyways. Yeah, following their movements is pretty much, you know, they will teleport out of your line of sight, so do not trust. Yeah, as you can see here, I was pretty much doubtful if there was another lictor, but no, the lictor was only one, and it was teleporting outside of our vision multiple times. Yeah, that execution was very unfortunate. I could have just done, yeah, the aftershock. I went for the risk and yeah, I paid the consequences. Anyways, here, yeah, this corridor is perfect for example, charged up ground pounds, as they should deal a lot of damage in a restricted area, and they should all be, you know, grouped up. That's very, very fun. Getting a little bit of ammo, still doubtful on my shoulders, on my back, if there was, you know, if there was the remaining lictor. And now there is the biovore. And yes, even if they reduced the spore damage to 55%, yeah, they are still pretty much deadly if they clamp up on a corridor like this. So, and they've called the reinforcement, so we have to back off a little bit just to manage the incoming wave. We have a pair of grenades if necessary. I believe, for example, prestige perk for the assault could be that you are invulnerable to damage for like 10 seconds after a perfect block. That would make sense at least. And hopefully it should make it competitive against ranged classes as well, because let's be honest, even if we all love the assault, right? But we cannot deny that the assault is in the lower tier of the classes, especially in damage dealing. You know, yeah, in this situation where there are a lot of spores and raging enemies, your means of dealing damage is just a pistol, and that's very unfortunate. So yeah, I am backing off a lot so that I have a clear vision of what's happening in front of me. The devourers are there, so yeah. Was waiting for at least one ground pound to come back. Okay, the crack grenade did its job. It shouldn't take much longer to put this guy in execution, but looks like the crack grenade is a little bit less effective than expected here. I was expecting a little bit more damage, so, but yeah. So we broke their formation, killing the biovore, and now, yeah, as you can see, they are falling off very easily. Trying to keep the pressure on this guy to avoid the point blank, you know, point blank fire that deals 99% damage on your HP bar, you know. Yeah, one-shotting with the ground pound is very satisfying. Yeah, really, I suggest you to try this build. It's very refreshing, and for humble lovers, this is all you've been asking for, right? Just a powerful ground pound build, and this is the one for you. You can even further increase the damage of the ground pound with the, you know, the 25 extremis melee damage perk, team perk, and you can increase even more by simply just equipping the latest, you know, the last perk that instead of the jump back dash increase in damage, you can use the 25, no, sorry, it was the 20% damage increase, but at the cost of a longer charging up animation. I mean, you can make it as strong as you want. Anyways, we still have another ground pound ready, but I'm saving it, yeah, for the reinforcement call, and that's it. And looks like I was not fast enough, so yeah, my strategy went straight to the toilet in a second. That's very unfortunate. So we now have to deal with the reinforcement wave. Looks like it's not so big, honestly. Doesn't look like it. By the way, I believe this mission finished with like, I believe it was 700 kills. So yeah, it's definitely a reduced number of enemies compared to the older version of Absolute missions. I believe, at least. Man, I'm not dealing with this shit, honestly. I'm just going away. I have too few projectiles to deal with the entire horde, so yeah, it's just a one-on-one on the Ravener. Yeah, and that's your end. So yeah, usually what you have to do if you are dealing with the Ravener, just parry, perfect parry, the first 2 hits of its combo, use the ground pound and turn 180 degrees, and as soon as the Ravener does the final shot, the final hit of the 3-hit combo, you can just unleash your double adrenaline ground pound to deal maximum damage. So here we are at the Hive Tyrant, and as you can see, this fight has become very easy compared to the mid-bosses you will find normally. Simply because, yeah, it's mostly a one-on-one, unless it reaches like 3/4 of HP, but even in that case, it does not call a big amount of, a giant amount of friends. So honestly, it's pretty much doable. And this is the only instance where, for example, equipping the 20% damage increase on the ground pound at the cost of the duration, charge duration, can effectively do its job here, because you can deal much more damage here. Still, as you can see, a double adrenaline ground pound deals a considerable amount of damage even after the patch where the Hive Tyrant has been increased its HP, I believe it's a 33% HP increase. Anyways, this is a full minion wave, which is not ideal for us, unfortunately, but... And here is where the, the Gunstrike Armor segment perk comes in handy very much, because you can Gunstrike the Hive Tyrant to get back the armor segments you are losing to the minion horde. By the way, what I am doing right now is simply just hip firing the pistol while looking at the Tyrant. So yeah, you will miss a lot of ground targets, but at least you are ready to parry and dodge the Tyrant. Anyways, okay, so we are pretty much okay for the first phase. There will be no more enemies, reinforcements, I mean. Yeah, as you can see, I am using our invulnerability during the ground pound animation. I just wanted a little bit of ammo, so come on, just leave me alone, Tyrant. Okay, so right now it's gonna refill its HP for the final phase. I am getting the shock grenades just for the, the next wave of reinforcements is gonna call. That's the only reason I am taking the shock grenades. Yeah, the fight is pretty much straightforward, I grow impatient a lot of times, as you can see, so that makes me take a little bit of damage, but it's always a controlled damage because I am making sure I have armor segments left before I try other things. Anyways, almost at the reinforcement threshold. Not yet. Yeah. Here they come, so right now I'm trying to check where are they coming from, and it's from my back, of course, so has to be the most well-spent ground pound of the entire game. Just demolishing the reinforcements immediately. Yeah. Perfect. And now it's just a 1-1. We still have the relic. We have two steams as well. It's pretty much unlikely that the Hive Tyrant can kill us, but we'll see. I mean, of course, this is a post-commentary video, so we already know how it's gonna end here, right? But yeah, just to build a little bit of suspense, you know? Anyways, yeah, there's no way the Hive Tyrant will kill us, so yeah. I also would like to see for the devs to implement the, you know, when you reach the pod to swap your loadout mid-mission, we could also swap the you know, the build itself, the class perks and such. That would be awesome, so we can adapt the situation even better. And that's it. It's almost done, guys, so yeah. If you stayed till now, thank you for watching this video. Sorry for the rant, and see ya on the next one. Peace.